I always thought that like legends, people who are gonna be in permanent rotation, you know, on the radio, they have to or usually do some insane, epic, great accomplishment before I'm even born, barring few exceptions like, Lauryn Hill, Alicia Keys. And then there are some who did it before I was born and, they going after I was born, like Prince. And I didn't think there was going to be a hip hop you to essentially exist. I thought the closest we would get with someone who was truly and genuinely timeless would be like Busta Rhymes, you know? And to I guess a very unique degree, people who just naturally stood out because they were so different, like Mos Def, Talib Kweli. But then you hit the world like a meteor, and yes, I was in that group of children whose parents were pissed off. Mine weren't pissed off; they thought you were funny as hell. Um, who honestly thought you were going to be a flash in the pan, but it was an enjoyable flash in the pan. And I'm happy that I, even as a toddler, was very, very wrong. I'm very happy I was wrong as a small child. I got a hold of your mixtape when I was really young. I wasn't supposed to have it. It was taken from me, and I didn't hear from you at all again until, around the Dreamcast comes out. So it was Marvel vs. Capcom and Soul Edge at the time, and, a little bit of Shady here and there. And I've made so many friends, made so many enemies. I'm a loyal fan. I don't just throw people away because I think one album is bad. It's very unfortunate, and it's also extremely unique to hip hop. It is disgusting and disturbing. Also, I genuinely hate Machine bitch ass Gun Kelly, but we're not gonna get on that. And you also ended up doing what you said you did your music. You inspired children to get through rough times. You were one of the reasons I was able to get through the military. Of course, more comically, the correct answer is you and a lady by the name of Veronica Avlov. Don't Google that. And, I've also seen what happens when the parents of a child don't love the child more than they hate each other. And I am nothing but happy that it ended up so well for you, because I've really and truly seen what happens when it doesn't end up that way. And I don't know, man. It's just I'm happy when you're happy. I don't really don't have any experience doing stuff like this when I'm not face to face with someone, so it doesn't flow as naturally. But through it not flowing naturally, I just hope the authenticity is easily to be detected, if that's even a word. Oh man, I'm not telling Ramsey about this. He's gonna beat my ass. Oh yeah, I bumped into one of your old neighbors. He's doing surprisingly well as far as recording studio managers are concerned. A guy by the name of Ramsey. We're actually been becoming closer friends. He's a real cool guy, and I'm glad I met him. But, if you're wondering why this particular birthday present, which I hope it finds you, even though it'll be a day late and a dollar short, is happening, I'll just go ahead and get into that because I can only say thank you so many times. Supposedly you hate when your ass gets kissed longer than 60 seconds anyway. So a friend of mine reminded me of a game, a very experimental game that was about essentially watching cutscenes and then reacting to the cutscenes. It was more like 70 to 80% reactive cutscenes, 20% gameplay, right? This character was a very angry god, and he really, really hates when people kidnap his daughter. He got very angry, and during the end of that game, when we're watching the actual end of it, which was DLC and pissed people off, and he says, "I'll never forgive you for making my daughter cry," and he punches a dude out of existence. And that's not hyperbole. That literally happened. He punched a motherfucker out of his existence because he was harassing his daughter. In the back of my head, and one of my friends said at the same time, because I started saying the words too, "What if that was Eminem?" And we just started laughing, and our brains rewrote the whole game. as if you were the main character beating up these asshole gods, terrorizing people and stuff, and you were only getting angrier and stronger as time progressed. And you know, Marvel vs. Capcom games have started becoming much easier to reverse engineer. I happen to be lucky enough to know where a lot of those people hang out in secret or in private, at least online anyways. And I just happened to want to commission our father, who art in Michigan, Shady be thy name. Well, that's too long. So I happened to commission His Eminence with another person out in Canada who, you know, is also a fan. And we legitimately, you know, just came up with ways to try to get you over that character, because this character isn't in the original Marvel vs. Capcom 3. They're a modification from that earlier game. It was called Asura's Wrath, and we just instantly knew it fit. So it was an exchange back and forth. I paid to get it done. Then I got a second player slot, so you know your homies can get in on it too. And I missed your birthday, which I'm going to regret for the rest of my life. Hopefully Ramsey doesn't see this. But I hope it, even for a second, brought a little bit of joy into your day, just like you have done for me so many times and so many other millions of people. If you could take anything away from this, I would just say, don't let your enemies live in your head more than the people that respect you. A fair weather fan who throws you away, puts you in the trash, deserves themselves to be put in the fucking trash. Fuck them. You don't need them, and you don't need to appease them, because the minute they hear one good song, they're gonna be all the way back partying again and reliving their childhood. I sincerely hope things continue to go well for you. I'm on the opposite end of production stuff, more in entertainment in a more general sense, game design, music, blah blah blah. But you know, I was inspired by people like you to even try. Dante Bosco was a big help as well. Like, he just got me over that initial hurdle of being scared of failing, even though, you know, I don't even remember what he said to me. But thank you.